Hi everyone, my name is Ezra Williams Jr., and I am the founder and CED for Ataraxia Dance Theater. I just want to take this opportunity right now to thank you so much for tuning in and supporting our dancers and our artists who have created amazing works, have been challenged through hard times because of the pandemic, and what better opportunity right now to showcase work and to uplift our artists than to give them a collective and a creative space to just be themselves. I just want to take this opportunity right now to also let you know that you are watching Program A. Program A is going to be running today, March 25th, and next week, April 1st. This program is a little bit longer than the regular program, only because this program has interviews and a talkback session with the artists who have created work. So you will get a little bit of a glimpse on their process and their creativity, and you'll get to see who they are as artists and everyday people. So we hope that you will sit back, relax, and enjoy hitting restart.
Lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop. Boom, boom, boom. Lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop. Boom, boom, boom. Call my baby lollipop, tell you why. His kiss is sweeter than an apple pie. And when he does a shaky rock and dance, man, I haven't got a chance. I call him lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop. Sweeter than candy on a stick, huckleberry, cherry, or lime. If you had a choice, he'd be your pick, but lollipop is mine. Lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop. Boom, boom, boom. Crazy way it thrills me, tell you why. Just like the lightning from the sky. He loves to kiss me till I can't see straight. Gee, my lollipop is great. I call him lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop. Boom, boom, boom. Lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, a lollipop.
All right, so we are here. Go ahead and, Annika, I know your first name, but go ahead and say your last name.
Bellman.
Okay, just Bellman. So,
Yeah.
okay, cool. So Van Brero is,
Oh, yeah. That's so on Facebook for a while, I actually used my mom's maiden name as well as my dad's last name, but I shortened it after a while because it was a lot.
just about, yeah.
Mouth. Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. So we are here with Anna Kate Bellman. We've had the pleasure of seeing her the second round. She applied for or she was a part of our mini digital collective the first round last year, and she is back because she is making some great work. We just believe in her work. So the first thing we're gonna do is just gonna ask her just to tell us a little bit about herself, who she is, what she does, what she likes to do for fun. Like, yeah.
Well, hi. Yes. I have been dancing since I was 3 years old. And when I was 15 is when I started taking everything a lot more seriously. I danced in Charlotte, North Carolina for a little while with the Charlotte Ballet's like training program there. And that's where I also discovered my love of choreography. I had a really great teacher there who just opened my eyes to how creating dance can really affect people and make change. And then I eventually ended up going to SUNY Purchase in New York for school. And I also got a concentration in composition while I was there. So, on top of my dance training, I got the extra little add on of being a choreographer at the school. So, I had more opportunities to choreograph and present my work while I was there. Also, I that's where I found my focus. I really, really like to choreograph pieces from the LGBT experience, not all the time, but it is something that is very dear to my heart. I love doing duets between same genders or non-gender, binary. I really just love to open it up because I feel like there is, especially in more traditional contemporary ballet, it's very much one view, man, woman. And I'm really trying to help change that and open it up and lift up voices that you don't often get to see. So that's a really big passion of mine. And for fun, I really like to read and write and dance. I mean, why else would I be
Yeah.
here?
Yeah. Awesome. And she's currently in Orlando, Florida.
Yes,
And that is
I am
home.
in Orlando. Currently in Orlando. I've done some seasonal work with Universal. And then, of course, I've been in the collective once before with SRM and Ataraxia. And I'm excited to be a part of it again. Yeah.
And if you did not get to see her piece from last year, you guys need to go and see it. It is brilliant. It is just wonderful. It's one of my favorite pieces. And I try not to say favorite a lot, but it is one of my favorite pieces out of the collective. I am not going to lie. So yeah, so if you haven't seen that, go check that out. So what we're doing, we're trying to do something new. We're inviting the artists to come in and just talk a little bit about the work that our audience is being exposed to, what they've seen, confirming just certain things that the audience may have questions about. So we're just gonna give a little rundown about like what the piece was about, where the ideas stem from, how she chose to frame it, why she chose certain things, just getting into the artist's brain, because sometimes I feel like, as artists, we don't get to explain ourselves a little too much. I'm the kind of artist that loves to explain myself because I overthink a lot and I just dive a little deep. So this is just the opportunity that I'm giving the artists to just really say how they created the work, why they chose, certain things, and giving the audience a, oh, okay, that makes sense. Because sometimes things don't make sense for the audience. They're like, oh, why is she doing this? Or why is that happening? Why doesn't this happen outside or inside or somewhere else, So yeah. So yeah, give us a little bit of a insider on like how you developed the piece.
So it's so funny because this is like, I don't really have an office space, living in a small room, but this little corner around here is actually where the whole thing takes place.
I was literally about to say, is that the doorway?
Yeah, it's like just around, it's not right, it's just around the corner right there. Yeah, and this is the closet that's in the background the whole time. But I was actually just laying on my bed and, I mean, with everything going on with the pandemic, at that point in time, I hadn't been dancing as much other than online classes. So I was just feeling a little creatively stagnant. And sometimes when you have so many ideas and there's so many options, it can be overwhelming. And I knew I wanted to create something. And then you guys posted that you're having another collective around the same time. So I was like, okay, yes, I have like 5 days till this is due, but I'm gonna put together this work. It's gonna be small, but how to make it, but I had so many ideas. So finally I was just laying on my bed and staring at the doorway back here. And I was like, what if I made a piece that literally did not leave this tiny doorway space? Because I mean, obviously throughout this time, I mean, I've been lucky to be where I am in Florida that I have space, but some people really don't.
Right.
So I was like, okay, well, if I existed in this space and I had to make a dance. So at first I played with just ideas of dancing in the space. And then I was like, I want it to be kind of fun too, because, everything doesn't always have to be so serious. And I feel like sometimes people just need to laugh and relax, and why not have some more fun with it? So I started bringing in like different props. I like to do yoga in the mornings. So I was like, let's try to see if I could fit my yoga mat in here and what could I do. Um, and then also then I ended up bringing in the bubble gum element because I was like,
I
this
think that
is
was genius. I'm just gonna say that. I thought it was genius. I was like, oh, she's blowing bubbles.
because I was like, what's something you do when you're just sitting
Right?
there? And I was
Yeah.
like, whenever I'm chewing gum, like I just blow bubbles.
I
It's
make the
like,
noises. I make the firecracker noises with my gum.
yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, that's totally me right there.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I want to do that. And then it kind of just started to get crazier from there because I've always wanted to choreograph to that song as well, Lollipop.
That was actually, it's funny. That is one of my favorite childhood songs. So when I heard it, I was like, I'm going back to childhood right now. I'll just let her like bring me
Just
back
relax.
to childhood.
And that, I mean, that's part of it too. Like I mean, my videographer was a 12-year-old girl, one of my cousins. So if you, that's why some of the framing is a little changes a little bit every time, but she did a good job there. But so she ended up with I decided costumes like the day we were filming it. So I was like, I'm gonna start in sort of normal clothes and just let it get crazier and crazier as I go along and just kind of, and some of the shots, like I improv some things as well, not just, there was a set choreography, but I also improv and added in some other movements. So there were some times where I was just messing around and would start laughing, and I was like, "Is that funny?" She just, so she was a part of the process on the actual
Oh, that's
night we
awesome.
filmed it. So that actually really impacted how some of it came across. It kind of became this game we were playing. So there was a lot happening behind the scenes that really, I think, helped bring it all together.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I just kind of put together all the things. It was a bubblegum boredom blowout little party that we had. And that is just how it came to happen. And it was really fun to make. I don't usually dance my own choreography. I get a little nervous about that. I like to be able to see it, and I tend to like seeing other people do it more than myself. But yeah, so it was really I did a couple takes, and then it was just really a time of trusting myself and just letting myself know it's okay to have fun, and it's okay that it's not always perfect. There's like a little thumb in the screen, see if you can find that at one point. Or like, it just, it was a way to kind of let go and really get creatively restarted for the year. And I think it really did help me, restart at the time that I made it. It was the beginning of like the new year 2021, and just, it kind of helped me push forward creatively. And all of a sudden I felt like more ideas and stuff had started coming back
Right.
because I did this thing that was just, no stress. Let's make something in this small space. Here are your restrictions. Here are your props, like an exercise. It was really fun. Yeah. To create it.
That's awesome. As you're talking, like it seems like the production element almost came as if like an improvisation in some sense, because it was like you were just playing with things and it's like, okay, this fits here, let's just put it here. Or and with your cousin, like I think that probably was like a fun thing for it was a girl, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was probably a fun thing for her to be like, oh my god, like this is so fun, like, and engaging in that way. I think the pandemic has really pushed us as artists to like really think outside of the box in a sense. Because I can tell you there are so many times where I get into like a funk of like trying to like recreate something when it's like, no, let's just like use what's already here. Um,
100%.
yeah, no, but that's amazing. That's so funny. And it's like I'm going back to like even your last piece, it's two completely different works. And I was like, they're both genius. It's like, one is very technical and very like you can tell there is a lot of focus and a lot of intent. Not saying that this one doesn't have intention, because there is intention behind it, but the
Yeah.
intention looks completely different behind the two. And yes, one is more playful and one is more like, oh my God, like, yes, this is like what we need right now in
Yeah.
um and so yeah, I think the thing that really stood out to me was um just how relatable this work was, especially for me. Like I was saying, like I sat and was like, oh my god, I feel like I'm in like my back in my childhood days, like just at home, like trying to figure out like what the heck to do, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm assuming like when our audience members see that, they're gonna be like, oh my god, like okay. this is
Yeah.
this brings me back to this, or this triggers this, or certain things like that. So I don't know if that's what you were going for, but it seems like that is the gist of where it's going to bring people from my perspective. And I'm not going to speak generally for everybody, but from my perspective, that's where it brought me. And I was vibing out to it. It was a whole mood.
Yes, it
Yeah.
definitely is. I mean, because I've spent most of this pandemic working with children or being in homes with children, helping them. So, I mean, what you hear on repeat over and over again is, I'm bored. I'm
Yeah.
bored. I'm bored. So, like, I just picked up, like, I remember the tennis ball thing. I was like, what would you do just like sitting in your house?
Right.
That's
Right.
kind of how it all came together.
Yeah.
These
And
little moments.
I'm connecting it right now. Sometimes a few of my professors, they've always said this, but they always say some of the things that we're going through appear in our artwork. And sometimes I'm like, I guess it's just like it comes through my work, but I've rewatched a lot of my work, and a
Mhm.
lot of what I've been going through in that time during creating comes out in my work. And so like even
Mhm.
creating this, like, yeah, you're around children, you're around, all these different things, and this piece inevitably brings about what you're going through, and then like also what you're trying to create. uh,
Yeah.
Interesting to hear you say that you were around kids. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Have you shown any of these the kids or anybody that you work for this stuff? Like this stuff?
Um, this video recently?
This video in particular.
Yes, they've all watched it because they were all so there's two other cousins. There's the 12-year-old, well, now she's 13, but there's some that are younger as well. And they were very offended that they didn't get to film it. But I was like, you guys are prone to laughing. I'm like, you're the ones who laugh a little bit more. She can like at least hold it in because I can't like the amount of takes I would have to do if everybody
Yeah,
started bursting
yeah,
out laughing because which is fine. I'm not offended. I'm being silly. Like it's great, but I'm also like, I can't, it's going to take me too long. We have a certain amount of time. So, yeah, I've shown them. I've shown a couple people. I haven't posted this one anywhere. I've kept it kind of under wraps because I knew that we would eventually, like, I wanted
perfect.
to present it and post all the clips and like
Right.
the teaser videos and all of that with, with like when we were going to start doing the collective. So I've been holding on to it from that perspective. But the kids have all watched it. And I think one or two of my friends have seen it because I just haven't. I mean, I know it's like up online somewhere, but no one can find me unless I send them the link on the internet because I'm not like promoting my videos. Um, so yes, so the first time that most people who I know will be seeing this particular piece will be through the collective here, which I was kind of that's why I was like, I'll just keep it under wraps. But other works, yeah, I have an Instagram for choreography that does not get as much attention as it should, but yes, I post on there as well as you know. And I will try to like. There's going to be a clip from on that page and on my other one as well when this goes through. So
Cool. Cool. All right. Well, I know that I don't want to I don't want to ask too much questions and like give like our audience too much stuff. I just wanted to give them a taste of like your ideas and your thought process.
okay,
And so, in the dance world, we keep people still like on the edge of their seats and like still not allowed to ask questions. But
yeah,
um, yeah, I think you explained it pretty well on how you developed it and like where you were coming from. Um, and yeah, just tell the people where they can find you again on Instagram. Do you have an
yeah.
Instagram? Do you have Facebook?
I do have Facebook.
And
I'll give you. I don't have Twitter or TikTok. I don't really understand that, so I just
Ju- trust me, I have a TikTok, but it's only there for me to go and scroll through. I
yeah.
don't create all this like
I
stuff.
don't think I'd be able. I can't. I don't know. And people are like, you're a dancer. You should love it. And I'm like, this is not like I wasn't trained to do it. I can't. Yeah, I just look like a. I think I look like a weird librarian when I try to do it. So, but so my Instagram handles are at underscore rhymes with Monica. And then my choreography specific account is at Annika Bellman Choreography. That's my Instagram. And then Facebook is just Annika Vambrero Bellman.
Gotcha.
Um, Usually, if you type in Annika Bellman, I'm one of the only ones. So that helps narrow it down. Yeah,
Awesome.
great.
Awesome. Well, people go and follow her. She does amazing work, and just keep supporting the performing arts. We love our artists. We're gonna keep supporting them, and we hope to see you at our next collective or our next event that we have. All right. We'll see you soon, guys.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, everyone. We are here with Kelsey Lynch. Hello, Kelsey. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm well. For everyone who may not know or does know, Kelsey is one of our interns here for Ataraxia Dance Theater. She is an amazing person, artist. We just love her. We love having her and her presence. And she knows what we're about to do. We're about to just jump into a conversation real quick about her work. One thing I love about her work, it's just very different. It's very fun, very just like out there. Um, and a lot of people won't consider it like a professional dance, but I think it is more than a professional dance. So yeah, anyways, Kelsey, go ahead and introduce yourself and just tell everybody a little bit about you, who you are, what you do.
I'm Kelsey, and I'm from Massachusetts, but I go to school in Long Island. I'm here right now. I'm in kind of like my office, I guess, room. And I go to school for dance at Adelphi University. And so this kind of short film that I did was actually an audition for one of my professors for a dance film that she did last semester. And the prompts, I guess, from what I'm remembering, was kind of like what is dance and what like constitutes something as dance, and and also like letting the environment that is around you dictate what you do instead of planning something out. um, and I had an idea for what I was going to do before, and then I woke up the morning I was planning on filming it and was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I hate it. And I thought of what I did. And so it was very spur of the moment. I wanted to be really musical because I was doing my little finger walks and I didn't, didn't really have that much of an idea, but I knew I wanted it to go with the music. And so I picked a song that I knew and knew like all the beats that I could kind of go with it. And then so I took it from there. And yeah, the most of it is improv ish. I mean, improv with my hands, so not like improv dancing.
Right.
Yeah. And it definitely took a couple takes because we had to figure out how I wouldn't be in the like my face and my body was trying not to be in the shot, which took a little bit of figuring out. So it was improv, but it did take a few takes, so it was kind of me trying to remember the best parts of it.
you're
Yeah.
you're talking about improv. So was the process improv? Like was you're creating the movement was improv, but
Mhm.
was actually during the recording improv as well, or was that structured?
Um, because I knew the music so well, there was some parts that I was like, oh, I know I want to like go like this in the dirt when it does the part that builds. Because when I recorded it the first time, that was completely improv, but
Mhm.
it ended up being like my whole body was in it, and I was like, I don't really like that anyway. So yeah, I think like the beginning and the end, I knew what I wanted to happen, and I did that every single time. But the middle was mostly just kind of whatever I wanted to do. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Um, talk about inspiration. Like, I want to know where you were inspired from. Like, what did you draw from to create? First of all, to create the movement, but then also to create the wardrobe and the props and all that.
God. Yeah, I wrote this down in notes to kind of talk about my costuming. But the
Yeah.
thing is, it was a warmer day because it was at the beginning of the semester, so it hadn't been like winter yet. And that was what I was wearing when I went outside. And when I went outside, I was like, oh, where do I want to film the other idea that I had? Because it also had to do with like maybe like a sports field kind of environment. So I was like, and I was trying to like walk around campus, see which one would work best. And so I was doing that, and then I had my this idea that I actually did, and so I was cutting the music for that, and then my friend had got here to help me film. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wear what I'm wearing, which actually lent itself pretty well to what it was anyway. So I was happy about that. Like I would have wanted to change if I was wearing like a long sleeve, I think. And I was very, very happy that I did not have any fingernail polish that was chipped because that would look very professional of me. So I was wearing like a tank top and shorts. I mean, if I was gonna film it again, I probably would have like not worn bright blue shorts, but I think it was mostly fine because I was like out of it the whole time.
Right.
And I guess like inspiration for the movement was because I knew that piano music so well. I like danced to it a really long time ago before. Um, I I don't know. I just kind of thinking of what that music was kind of like telling me, and at the beginning, at the end, it's really really soft. So I wasn't gonna like do any crazy like kind of things before. So it was more like delicate at the beginning, and then it kind of went crazier. I don't know. I was also kind of thinking of like baseball players like stealing bases. They're like not short. I mean,
Right.
I'm
Right.
kind of
Right.
making it more dramatic, I guess. I don't. They're not really like going back and forth with their whole body, but in their head, I feel like they're like
Right. Right. Right.
playing with the idea of going.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
They don't know which one to choose yet, but they're gonna go for one of them.
yeah, they're thinking about it, but they're not sure if they should, if it's like a safe option.
Yeah, I think the for me, I think it was a very like fun idea to play with like all of that stuff. It was watching it is just like, oh, this is cool. Like this is so much fun.
Yeah.
Um, did you enjoy like the process of it? Like, yeah.
Yeah, it was really really fun. I was gonna have my friend who's not like she danced when she was younger, but she didn't really have that much experience with like filming stuff. She was
Mhm.
actually gonna come and help me, but then my other friend who's really good at filming stuff was like, "Hey, I'm on campus. You need any help?" I was like, "Yes." So both of them were there, and we actually broke in, I guess, to the field. It's like the softball field that nobody really uses, and the gate was open. So I was like, "Yes, let's go." Because I didn't know if the baseball players would have practice. So I went to the softball field and it was open. We went there, and right when we filmed the very last thing, there was two girls who came on the field and was like, "How'd you guys get in here?" And we were like, "Oh, the gate was open. We're leaving right now." And they didn't want to cause a problem because I'm pretty sure it was their responsibility to lock it up the day before. So it worked out, and it was right when we ended, and it was really a lot of fun. And I guess I'm pretty happy with how it turned out because I feel like I'm a person who likes to plan things out and
Yeah.
take a lot of time with like figuring out if like something is the right thing, like choreography wise and like filming wise. But it was very very different for me to like, think of something right then and then decide to do it within like a day, which is very out of character for me, but it went well. So
What
yeah.
What do you think was the hardest part
mm.
putting this together?
um, I guess the hardest part was definitely I guess I have two. One of them I don't think is that deep, but it's just like traveling my movement with my hands so far away from me and like trying not to get into the shot was really really hard, and it doesn't really look like it, but I had a lot of trouble doing that. And trying to think of the other one. Oh, I guess because it was like all improv movement mostly, except for the beginning and the end. um, kind of trying not to repeat myself so much. There's only so much you can do with your hand, like flat on
Mm.
the surface. But lucky for me, I have bendy fingers, so that was kind of nice. And I don't know. I think if I would do it again, I would probably like try to play with more levels, and like I'm not really that aggressive, but maybe like hitting the ground more. Yeah,
I think you
but
brought up a great point, like repetition for me. Um, I try not to repeat myself too much when I choreograph.
mm-hmm,
Um, and some people just love repeating themselves over and over. Um, but I feel like your repetition, from my perspective, I feel like the repetition worked, especially for the amount of time that you were allotted and everything that was put together. I think it worked fairly well. Like it wasn't overused or underused.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it was really well executed.
Thank you.
So yeah, no, I just wanted to like just give our audience a little snippet of like background stuff. So is there anything else that you would like your audience members to know or just the audience to know about the work?
Hmm. Um, well, there was a lot of debate from my camera person about whether or not I should have actually like touched the base at the end.
Uh,
A huge debate about that. I went with the decision that I did
yeah.
because it like made like the last note. I was like, "Ooh, the last note I want." And she said, don't do that, like, because then like it'll keep them guessing. I was like, "Oh God." I don't know. Maybe it's just something for the audience to think about if they would have
Yeah.
wanted me to do that or if they wouldn't
Yeah.
have.
Well, I mean,
I
it's
don't
all
know.
about. I mean, it's all about the artistic choice too. Like your artistic choice may be to this is the finishing point. Like I've completed what I have to complete. Or if you
Mhm.
weren't, then you could have like your friend was saying, like, okay, maybe I have a little bit more left to do, and
Mhm.
we'll continue in the next whatever you create. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It all depends on artistic choice, but yeah. How can our audience members find you?
They can find me on Instagram. That's probably the platform that I use the most. And I'm gonna spell out my name because it's probably in the little box thing on the side, but it's at Kelsey Lynch, KELLSEELYNCH, all one thing. And that's where I am.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for giving us your time. I can't wait for other people to see your work as we push it out. And yeah, thanks so much. We'll talk very soon.
Yes, we will.
All right,
Thank you.
no problem. Hey guys, thanks for staying tuned. In just a few moments, the second half of Program A will begin.